There is a moment fleeting, almost ghostly, when the fabric of reality seems to ripple. A conversation feels repeated, a street corner too familiar, a stranger's face inexplicably known. Déjà vu. The word itself is a whisper from the French, already seen. But what if this sensation is not just a trick of the mind? What if it is a crack in the ordinary, a fleeting glimpse into something far more vast, a sign that your soul is not bound to a single thread of time, but dancing between them? Imagine, for a moment, that life is not a straight line but a vast, shimmering web. Each strand is a possible version of you, a different choice made, a path untaken. Somewhere in another ripple of existence, you turned left instead of right, spoke instead of staying silent, loved instead of walked away. And sometimes, just sometimes, the veil between these worlds thins. That eerie sense of repetition, that uncanny familiarity, may not be a glitch in memory, but a resonance, a harmonic echo from a life you are also living, just out of reach. Science has tried to explain déjà vu as a misfiring synapse, a delay in neural processing, a hiccup in the brain's filing system. But the mystics, the seers, the ancient traditions whisper something else, that consciousness is not confined to the body, nor time as rigid as it seems. The Egyptians spoke of the Ka, the eternal double. The Hindus of the Akashic records, a cosmic library of all that was and could be. The shamans of the Americas journeyed between worlds, slipping through the cracks in reality, like mist through fingers. And now, quantum physics hints at parallel universes, infinite variations humming just beyond perception. What if déjà vu is not a malfunction but a remembering? A fleeting alignment of your awareness with another version of yourself, another timeline where this moment has already unfolded. If that is true, then these strange flickers of familiarity are not errors, they are messages. Glimpses of a grander architecture, where all possibilities exist simultaneously, and the soul is not a passenger but a navigator, slipping between dimensions like a traveler stepping through unseen doors. This is not mere speculation, it is an invitation to reconsider everything you assume about time, memory, and identity. What if the you, reading these words right now, is just one iteration of a much vaster being? What if déjà vu is the universe nudging you awake, hinting that reality is far more fluid than you've been led to believe? Think of the last time it happened, that split second where the world flickered, and something deep within you knew, even if only for a breath, that this had happened before. Did you dismiss it? Or did you pause, sensing something inexplicable, something alive in that moment? That pause, that curiosity, is where the mystery begins. This exploration is not about convincing you of a theory, but about opening a door. Beyond it lies a landscape where time folds like origami, where the self is not singular but symphonic, and where déjà vu is not a glitch but a key. To step into the mystery of déjà vu is to walk into a hall of mirrors, each reflection a possible version of yourself, each shimmering surface a doorway to another now. But what are the invisible laws that govern this phenomenon? What hidden principles might explain why we sometimes feel the past and future collapsing into a single, uncanny present? The illusion of linear time. We are taught that time is an arrow, one yielding, irreversible, always moving forward. But what if this is merely the way our brains organize experience, not the true nature of existence? Indigenous traditions, from the Aboriginal dream time to the Hindu concept of kalpa, cosmic cycles, have long understood time as something more fluid, more alive. Even modern physics toys with the idea that past, present, and future may all exist simultaneously, like frames in a film strip waiting to be perceived. Déjà vu, then, might be a momentary slip in the illusion, a crack in the facade of linearity, where a deeper truth bleeds through, that all moments are interconnected, and the you experiencing this instant is just one note in a far grander symphony. The multiverse and quantum superposition. If the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics holds weight that every decision spawns a new universe, then déjà vu could be the faint echo of another you in a neighboring timeline. Perhaps, in that other world, you did take that job, marry that person, or board that plane. And for the briefest flicker, your consciousness brushes against theirs, like two leaves touching in a vast, unseen river. This is not science fiction. It is a frontier of theoretical physics, where particles exist in multiple states until observed, where reality may branch infinitely. If consciousness itself is quantum a hypothesis gaining traction in some scientific circles, then déjà vu could be a natural side effect of a soul that is not bound to a single reality. The soul as a time traveler. Mystics have long claimed that the soul is eternal, dipping in and out of physical form like a hand in water. If that is true, then déjà vu might be a kind of soul memoria, flash of recognition from a past life, a future incarnation, or a parallel existence. The Tibetan Buddhists speak of the bardo, the in-between state where consciousness journeys before rebirth. Could déjà vu be a fleeting return to that liminal space where all timelines are visible for an instant? Synchronicity and the language of the universe. Carl Jung believed that certain coincidences as synchronicities were not random, but meaningful alignments, signs from the unconscious or the cosmos itself. Déjà vu may operate similarly, a wink from the universe, a nudge to pay attention. Perhaps it appears at crossroads, moments where a choice could send you down a radically different path. The eerie familiarity might be a whisper. You've been here before. Choose differently this time. The holographic universe and fractal memory. Some theories suggest that the universe is a hologram that every part contains the whole, like a single shard of glass reflecting an entire sky. If our brains are holographic too, then memory might not be stored in neat, linear files, but in a vast, interconnected web. Déjà vu could be a momentary overlap, where one fragment of experience resonates with another, creating the illusion of repetition. But what if it's more than that? What if the universe itself is remembering through you? The unseen hand of déjà vu. These themes converge into a single, staggering possibility that déjà vu is not a malfunction, but a feature. A built-in mechanism of a far more expansive reality, where time is a canvas, the soul a brushstroke, and every moment is alive with infinite potential. There are stories older than history, whispered in the shadows of temples and etched into the bones of the earth that speak of the truth behind déjà vu. These are not mere tales, but coded transmissions, passed down through generations to describe what science is only now beginning to grasp. That we are not bound to a single life, a single timeline, or even a single self. The labyrinth and the thread. In ancient Crete, the labyrinth was not just a prison for the Minotaur, it was a map of the soul's journey. To walk its winding paths was to traverse the many layers of existence, where every turn could lead to revelation or ruin. The hero, Theseus, armed only with a thread, navigated its depths and emerged transformed. Déjà vu is that thread. It is the subtle tug at the edge of awareness, the faint memory of a path you've walked before, even if, in this life, you haven't. Each moment of eerie familiarity is a whisper from another version of you, another turn in the labyrinth, saying, "I've been here. Follow me." The two rivers. A Sufi parable tells of a man who stands at the confluence of two rivers. One flows from the past, the other from the future. Where they meet, the water swirls in strange, repeating pattern seddies that seem to circle back on themselves. The man dips his hands in and is overcome with a sense of knowing, as if he has touched time itself. This is déjà vu. The past and future are not separate, but merging currents. When you experience that uncanny repetition, you are standing in the confluence, feeling the swirl of another timeline brushing against your own. The mirror realm. In Celtic lore, there exists a world just beyond the reflective surface of still water realm, where everything is inverted, yet eerily familiar. Those who gaze too long into a lake at dusk sometimes catch glimpses of their own faces, but subtly altered. A different scar. A stranger's smile. Déjà vu is the ripple in that mirror. For an instant, the barrier wavers, and you see, or rather, remember a life that is both yours and not yours. A life where choice is branched differently, where the face in the reflection is another you, staring back. The dreamer and the dreamed? Hindu cosmology speaks of Vishnu, the great preserver, dreaming the universe into existence. In his slumber, infinite worlds rise and fall, each as real as the last. But sometimes, a dreamer stirs. For a fraction of a second, they become aware they are dreaming, and in that moment, the dream flickers. Déjà vu is that flicker. It is the soul's half-awake realization. This is a dream, my dream, and I have dreamed it before. The library of all possibilities. Borges wrote of a library containing every book that could ever be written, every variation of every story, every life that could ever be lived. Somewhere in its infinite halls, there is a volume where your story unfolds slightly differently, a page where you said yes instead of no. A chapter where you took the other train, kissed the other lover, followed the other calling. Déjà vu is when your fingers, just for a second, brush against that other book. The grand tapestry. These stories are not fantasies. They are the human mind reaching, across millennia, for a truth too vast to hold in plain language. They are attempts to describe what quantum physicists now model with equations, that reality is not fixed, that time is not straight, and that the self is far more fluid than we dare believe. Déjà vu is the proof not in data, but in feeling. It is the body's ancient wisdom saying, "You are bigger than this moment. You are older than this life." The most profound truths are useless if they remain abstract. So let us ask the inevitable question. What do we do with this? If déjà vu is more than a neurological hiccup, if it is, in fact, a glimpse into the fluid nature of reality, how does that change the way we move through our days? How do we harness this understanding, not as a philosophical diversion, but as a lived wisdom? Recognizing the moments that matter. Not all déjà vu is created equal. Some instances are fleeting, barely noticeable. Others arrive with an electric jolt, a sense of significance that lingers like the echo of a gong. These are the moments to pay attention to. Think of déjà vu as a kind of metaphysical checkpoint and nudge from your broader consciousness that you've arrived at a nodal point, a juncture where choices ripple outward with unusual force. When it happens, pause. Ask yourself, why here? Why now? There may be no immediate answer, but the act of questioning tunes you into a deeper layer of awareness, one that perceives more than the surface of things. Decision-making as a multidimensional art. If every choice spawns new timelines, then free will is not an illusion, it is a cosmic responsibility. The ancient Taoists spoke of Wu Wei, the art of effortless action, where one aligns with the natural flow of events rather than forcing outcomes. In the context of déjà vu, this takes on new meaning. When faced with a major decision accompanied by that eerie sense of familiarity, consider this. Your other selves may have already walked this path. The déjà vu could be their silent counsel, an embodied memory of how things unfolded in another strand of existence. This isn't about premonition, but about recognizing that your intuition is wiser than you know, and that it may be drawing from wells of experience beyond this single lifetime. Dialoguing with parallel selves. This is not as esoteric as it sounds. Try this exercise. The next time déjà vu strikes, close your eyes, if circumstances allow, and ask internally, wordlessly, what do I need to know? Don't force an answer. Let it arise as a feeling, an image, or even a sudden thought. You might be surprised by what comes through. Some report hearing a phrase, seeing a flash of a place they've never been, or feeling an inexplicable surge of emotion. These are not hallucinations, but whispers from the edges of your expanded self. The key is to trust the process, not the particulars. The message is often less about specific details and more about the quality of energy it carries, a warning, a reassurance, or a call to action. Time as a tool, not a tyrant. Modern life operates under the dictatorship of the clock, but déjà vu hints at a more elastic relationship with time. When you experience it, lean into the sensation, slow down, let the moment stretch. In that pause, you may find a crack in the ordinary where intuition flows more freely, where solutions appear as if they were always there, waiting for you to remember them. This is why artists, writers, and innovators often speak of déjà vu-like moments in their creative process, the uncanny sense that they are not inventing, but rediscovering. You can cultivate this. Before sleep, pose a question to yourself, then release it. Upon waking, pay attention to any lingering sense of familiarity with the answer. The space between dreams and waking is a liminal zone where timelines blur and guidance can slip through. Breaking repetitive cycles. Déjà vu often occurs in mundane settings, a conversation, a street corner, a routine task. But what if these are the very moments where we are most asleep, most prone to replaying old patterns? The unsettling familiarity might be a wake-up call. You've been here before. Not in another timeline, but in this one, trapped in loops of habit. Use the sensation as a trigger for self-inquiry. Am I choosing this, or is it choosing me? The more you interrupt autopilot in these moments, the more you loosen the grip of karma, of fate, of whatever you wish to call the invisible forces that keep us cycling through the same lessons. The ethics of infinite selves. If we accept that our actions spawn alternate realities, then morality expands beyond the linear. Every cruelty, every kindness, every act of courage or cowardice echoes across dimensions. This is not meant to paralyze with guilt, but to awaken a sense of sacred responsibility. Ask, if I met another version of myself, would I be proud of the choices that brought them there? Live in a way that honors all possible yous, not just the one you see in the mirror. The alchemy of embodied wisdom. Déjà vu, when approached with reverence, becomes more than a curiosity. It becomes a practice, a way of navigating life with the quiet certainty that you are not alone, even when you are by yourself. That every choice is both yours and part of something vast. That time is not a line, but a landscape, and you are walking it in all directions at once. There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when the questions no longer feel like riddles, but like keys. What if déjà vu was never meant to be solved, but surrendered to? Not as a glitch to analyze, but as a gateway and invitation to step beyond the illusion of separation, of linear time, of a singular, solitary self. The grand realization. All the threads we've followed, the science, the myths, the practical whispers lead here. You are not just experiencing déjà vu. You are it. The sensation is not something that happens to you, but something you are, in the deepest sense, a flicker of the infinite recognizing itself. Consider this. When a note is struck on one piano, a nearby piano's matching string may hum in sympathy. No one touches it. No visible force connects them, yet the resonance is undeniable. This is how déjà vu works across timelines. The you in this reality is one note. The you in another is its harmonic twin. And when the conditions align, the vibration passes between worlds, humming through the hidden corridors of existence. The call to multidimensional living. This understanding is not passive, it demands something of you. Live as if all versions of you are watching, because they are. Every choice sends ripples not just forward in time, but sideways into lives you cannot see but can feel in those uncanny moments of déjà vu. Trust the echoes. When a decision feels cosmically familiar, pause. That hesitation is not doubt, it's deeper intelligence. Another you may be whispering, I took this path. Here's what happened. Seek the patterns, not the proofs. You will not receive a roadmap from the universe, but you will find breadcrumb synchronicities, recurring symbols, dreams that linger like perfume. Follow them. The end of seeking, paradoxically, the pursuit of what déjà vu means, ends when you realize it needs no meaning. It simply is a natural function of a soul too vast for one timeline, one body, one story. Like a bird that momentarily forgets it has wings, then feels the air beneath its feathers and remembers, déjà vu is your soul recalling its true nature. This is why the sensation often leaves us exhilarated or unnerved. It's not just familiarity, it's homesickness. A longing for the wholeness we instinctively know exists beyond the fragments of this life. The final invitation. Next time déjà vu strikes, do not dismiss it. Do not dissect it. Dive into it. Let the moment swell until the boundaries between you and other you soften. Ask, what is this here to show me? Where else have I lived this? How does this change what I do next? Then release the need for answers. The magic is not in solving the mystery, but in living Aiton becoming a conscious participant in the infinite dance of timelines, rather than a bystander to your own existence. The last words are yours. This is where the real journey begins, not with a conclusion, but with a question only you can answer. Now that you know how will you walk through time, the door is open. All versions of you are waiting.